Wow, hello. You're so beautiful. Wow. Wow, look at that.
The Australian borders are still closed and we are travelling in Australia.
At the roundabout, take the second exit onto Barclay Street.
This time we are travelling to the Grampians National Park, which is around 260 kilometres from Melbourne CBD. We are stopping at a place not far from Halls Gap. Peacocks are not native birds of Australia. They were brought to Australia in the colonial period from India. Property owners often keep peacocks to scare away snakes. We were quite happy with our accommodation. We stayed here 3 nights. Reeds was the first lookout we went to. We drove by car, but you can take a walking track.
We are on Reed Lookout and the elevation is 720 meters and it's Victoria Valley behind me. Beautiful. It's a beautiful day.
There is another lookout called Balconies and it's just 1 kilometre away from Reed's Lookout. You can only get to this lookout by foot, but it's an easy track.
People's obsession with stacking rocks. Nowhere you can go where they don't stack them. Couple of emus. Where I'm standing now at the Balconies, it's 760 metres above sea level.
The entry to the famous Jaws is now closed. Probably they had an accident or I don't know what happened, but I used to make many photos inside this rock formation.
We have arrived at McKenzie's Lookout and look who we have come across. Emus are only found in Australia. Females are slightly larger and heavier than males. These birds are champions. They can run fast, up to 50 kilometers an hour. We were lucky to meet them in the wild. We first decided to see McKenzie Falls from atop, and the track to the viewing platform is very easy. It's a 1.9 kilometre return track.
McKenzie's Falls Lookout point, and it's really hot here today.
There is a steep, narrow staircase leading down to the bottom of the waterfalls. What amazed us was the weather was really hot for a couple of days, and most waterfalls rely on heavy rainfall. But this is not the case with McKenzie Falls. Its water comes from nearby Lake Wartook, and the waterfalls are in full flow all seasons. The waterfalls are one of the biggest in Victoria and stand 35 metres tall. Halls Gap is a tiny town adjacent to the Grampians. It is a very popular tourist destination. People come here all year round. It is unique because the wildlife has got so used to seeing tourists that they are not afraid to roam around people. Boroka Lookout is even more spectacular than the other two. It provides panoramic views of the Grampians and Halls Gap.
We're at 600 metres elevation and it's about a 15-minute drive by car from Halls Gap.
Did you know the Grampians were designated as a state forest in 1872 and declared a national park in 1984? Here he is. Hello. Echidnas are an Australian mammal. They are very shy and cute. We were extremely lucky to see one because they move around mostly at night. They live by themselves and they are quite common in Australia. Don't be surprised if you find one in your backyard one day. We saw the Lakeview Lookout and we enjoyed it. There are quite a few lakes in the Grampians area, but Lake Bellfield we saw from every lookout we visited. We decided to have a closer look.
Now we are at the bottom of the lake. It's called the Bellfield Lake, and we saw it from the top, and from the top of the mountains. The mountains are behind me. And yeah, it's a man-made lake, and it is a water supply for the area, for the Grampians. And let's make a video. And on the other side, there is no water on the other side. We see it's like Falls Gap in the distance. You can't.
There are over 600 wineries in Victoria. Victoria has more wine producers than any other Australian state. On our way back to Melbourne, we decided to drop by the oldest winery in the region.
Salt. Good salt.
Good morning, how are you? Very well, thank you.
It's called Best Winery. It was established back in 1866 and it was one of the oldest wineries in Australia.
That is nice.
It's nice.
Pardon?
Ready for the next one? Oh, I'll come back if you like.
We don't know much about wine. We buy if we like the taste. The visitors to the winery get an opportunity to inspect the wine cellars, and they are really old and it is quite interesting and free.
The bottles, just look at these bottles, huh? There is dust there. Wow. There are lots of wineries in the region, but this one is one of the oldest.
Our short trip to the Grampians has come to an end. The interactions with the wild animals and birds were the highlight of our trip, but we enjoyed the entire trip. We are looking forward to our next adventure. Stay tuned and stay safe.